pretty incredible experience.
Wow.
There's always more to see.
The cheetah excels at acceleration. It's the sports car of the savannah. But even the fastest mammal on Earth faces a tough race for survival. Speed comes at a price, sometimes a steep one. For one mother cheetah raising 3 cubs, the stakes are especially high. Compared to the more aggressive felines of the Serengeti, she's a pussycat. Extra mouths to feed only cramp her style as she struggles to retain her spot among the savannah's top predators. The Ndutu region of the southern Serengeti, a hostile environment for most of the year. Low-lying and brutally hot, by early summer, many residents flee to friendlier climes. The animals that stay eke out an existence, waiting for clouds to form. This is prime cheetah territory, and out on the open short grass of the Wachini Plain, a cheetah mother escorts her 4-month-old cubs while she hunts. Slight of build and lacking razor claws and strength in numbers, she holds a precarious place among the savannah's other predators. But she does have one superpower: her speed. It doesn't do much good with her tag-along family in tow. Right now, she's lean. Her family hasn't eaten for 3 days. She scans the plains for her next meal. But these cheetahs aren't the only ones suffering. Times are tough here. In Lake Massac, now a giant mud puddle, hippos make the most of the water that's left. Only the hyenas come out ahead, gnawing on the rotting carcasses of animals that will never see the next wet season. Eventually, that long-awaited season finally arrives. By early January, springtime in Africa, clouds gather above the dusty grassland as moisture wafts across the savannah. Rejuvenating rain transforms the landscape almost immediately, turning the dusty brown grassland to vibrant fields of green. For the grazers, it's a time of plenty, and the grass here is especially fortifying. When the distant Ngorongoro volcano exploded 2.5 million years ago, it scattered these plains with a layer of ash, creating rich topsoil for the Ndutu pastures. The grassland brims with phosphorus and magnesium, which the wildebeest crave. In the north, over 1 million wildebeest abandon their depleted winter grasslands on Kenya's Masai Mara and head for greener pastures. They follow the smell of rain until they reach Tanzania's southern Serengeti at its most lush. The newborn calves thrive on rich milk from their well-fed mothers, and the gangly forms of baby wildebeest soon pepper the grasslands. To discourage attacks by cheetahs and other predators, the calves are mobile minutes after birth and running in their first hour. It's a matter of life and death for them, because the Wachini mother and her cubs have waited for weeks since the rain began, and they're hungry. She moves to intercept the herds as they arrive from the north, but she's too light to tackle a fully grown wildebeest or zebra. She has to focus on the younger, smaller animals. They're her family's salvation. Her vulnerable cubs instinctively hang back where they're safer, giving their mother a chance to sneak closer. She waits for one calf to stray from the herd. Much like a Formula One race car, the cheetah boasts an impressive power-to-weight ratio. The light frame and oversized heart, lungs, and liver support a massive burst of energy during hunting. But speed isn't everything. Indecision cost her her first target, and an adult repels her second attempt. Cheetahs generally fail once for every successful kill. The Wachini mother will get another chance. Immediately, she moves back to where she hid her hungry cubs, knowing that every time she leaves them, they are vulnerable to predators. So far, these 3 cubs have been lucky. Cheetah mothers have a difficult time raising young. Unlike lions and hyenas, cheetah males move away after mating, leaving the mother to raise her cubs alone. A cheetah mother can give birth to up to 8 young, but the average litter size is 3 or 4. Of these smaller litters, only 1 cub stands a good chance of surviving. Cubs can't open their eyes for the first 2 weeks, and even then, they're dependent on their mother for everything. They stay hidden for up to 6 weeks, and they continue to suckle for 2 months. Then they're ready to share in their mother's kills. By that time, the cubs wear a pale mantle, perhaps to disguise them as honey badgers, a fierce and aggressive plains forager that predators tend to avoid. In contrast to the lone cheetah, wildebeest and zebra move en masse, and that poses a different set of challenges. As they arrive in the wet south, the thirsty herds need to drink, and they refuel at the marshes of Ndutu. As more and more charge toward the long-awaited water, chaos ensues. The discipline of the migration formed over so many miles quickly falls apart. Babies have a hard time sticking to their parents. They get disoriented quickly. Within seconds, a calf loses its mother. The tall grass doesn't help, obscuring its vision. And in the commotion, all mothers look the same. The calf is particularly vulnerable. It won't survive long without milk, and in the extreme heat, it'll weaken fast. It approaches a passing adult, hopefully, but gets rejected firmly. In desperation, the little wildebeest tries the flank of a zebra, but there's no sympathy shown here either. And its problems are just beginning. Another cheetah hides in the woodland. The wildebeest eventually leave the Ndutu marsh, with the calf still separated from its mother. As they move into the verge of the woodland, the cheetah senses that an easy meal could be on the way. She's worked these woods before, and she's totally focused. She passed up the Grant's gazelle, and pulling down a big zebra is out of the question. The cat waits. For this hungry cheetah, wildebeest calf is a welcome meal. But she can't eat yet. She needs to suffocate it as quietly as possible so other predators don't steal her catch. The shorter the struggle, the better. And even then, she'll have to wait. After running at 50 miles per hour for 300 yards, her heart races at 250 beats per minute. Practically gasping for air, she sucks in more than 2 breaths per second. She can't eat until her breathing calms. While she recovers, she's on high alert, scanning the land for potential rivals for her hard-won meal. In a few minutes, her system has settled enough for her to search for a secure place to dine. She's a great hunter, but she has no firepower to defend her kill. And her options for hiding are limited. Because unlike other cats, cheetahs cannot fully retract their claws. Though crucial to maintain high-speed grip, the claws are constantly worn, so cheetahs can't rely on climbing to escape other predators. She eventually settles on a small block of shade in the lee of a low acacia. The instant she's sure she's safe, she tears into her meal. Camouflaged in the open scrub, she'll gorge as fast as possible. If she's chased off, she wants to at least reap some benefit from her efforts. If they're lucky, cheetahs manage to eat only 40% of their kills before another predator chases them off. This time, she's left in peace. But life is not always this easy. Near the Wachini Plain, distant roaring greets a new day. Not far from the mother cheetah and her cubs, a male lion calls out to his pride. His sensitive ears listen closely for his family's response from the other side of the lake. Boisterous lions behave so differently from secretive, silent cheetahs. Exposed on the open plains and marshes of Ndutu, lions find it hard to hunt. They almost seem ungainly compared to the lithe cheetah. More heavily built and not nearly as quick, they rely on a longer stalk and usually hunt in early morning or at night. The distant zebras grow edgy as this lion unwisely tries to close in under the midday sun, a time better suited to the faster cheetah. She shouldn't have bothered. As the zebra flee, the lioness wearily begins her long, hot walk back to the shade of the tree line. Because they hunt for the pride, individual lions can risk the occasional long shot. Another member will always pick up the slack and eventually make a kill. A cheetah hunting alone can't afford that luxury. Cheetahs have the gift of precision. Lions have the gift of versatility, making the best of most situations. They form an especially lethal gang, able to take down large prey. If the cheetah is the sprinter of the Serengeti, the lion is the wrestler. Back on the plains, the wildebeest migration progresses. While some herds graze, others follow the clouds north for another year. Their presence here is temporary. They could be miles away by morning. The Wachini mother and her 3 cubs have no time to waste as their prey steadily slips beyond their reach. While the wildebeest move on, a few zebras straggle in the Wachini mother's territory, but that doesn't make them easy targets. They migrate with the wildebeest, but they're wiser and much more observant. Undaunted, the cheetah mother is still on the prowl. Yesterday's failed wildebeest attempt has left her family hungrier. Desperation hangs in the air, but she has to keep her focus. The mother commits to a target and begins to stalk, singling out the herd's smallest, waiting for it to stray. Then it's 0 to 60 in just a few strides. Perhaps intimidated by the mass of fleeing zebra, she gives up again. Another chance wasted. Watching from the edge of the woodland is a mother leopard. She too is a lone parent, but she takes a different approach than her slimmer cousin. First off, her cubs have better cover for hiding. They can stay concealed indefinitely, so the mother can hunt without worry. This one snagged a wildebeest calf. She stashes her kill high in a tree, out of hyenas and lions' reach. She can dine at leisure and save some for later. She has so much time to eat that she can remove the hair from the carcass before she starts, an indulgence a cheetah wouldn't dream of. She'll spend the day eating and snoozing, lounging high in the branches, while her cubs stay hidden. Compared to the cheetah, what a life. The Wachini mother, still separated from her cubs, searches desperately for them. Another vulnerable moment for the defenseless young. This family hasn't eaten for 4 days now, but the mother's new priority is to find her babies. As she searches, she lucks upon another opportunity. A small gazelle dawdles within striking range. With no cubs around, the cheetah stands a better chance. She's getting the opportunities, but the failed attempt minutes earlier has sapped her energy. She's out of steam. Even by cheetah standards, she's not doing well. And she's even farther from her cubs, a recurring problem for this working mother. But things only get worse. The zebra's tolerance of the mother is wearing thin. They take matters into their own hands, chasing her off, putting even more distance between her and her cubs, and leaving them dangerously exposed on the open plain. The panic-stricken cubs don't dive for cover, but call desperately. But their mother's now almost a mile away. And their cries attract some unwanted attention. A clan of hyenas moves in to investigate. Hyenas instinctively kill cheetah cubs, not for food, but rather to erase future hunting competition. The hyenas come in for the kill. She has to reach the cubs before they do. The cubs' calling works. Mother comes to the rescue. They're still hungry, but happily reunited. Although the hyenas are bigger and stronger than the mother, they're not really looking for a fight. They go off to make trouble elsewhere. Hyenas are happy to scavenge or even steal a meal from a careless predator, but they're also effective killers on their own. The departing wildebeest provide an opportunity. The hyenas loiter along the edge of the herds until they spot their victim. Then they break into a loping run. Hyenas, unlike the cheetah, are built for endurance. They take turns in running their prey to exhaustion. This chase turns out to be a rousing mission, and when they can't shake loose a suitably weak or slow wildebeest, they give up, for now. But their upsetting presence sends this wildebeest into a frenzied display. The hyena clan reunites. They are very social and live in a tight family structure managed by a female. Young hyenas remain in dens guarded by an adult, while the clan is out on long hunts. In further contrast to the cheetah, hyenas are hard as nails. They'll eat just about anything. While the cheetah typically eats less than half of its kill, hyenas can devour more than 80% of a carcass. Muscular jaws crunch through heavy joints. With a half-ton of sustained pressure, this animal clips through an antelope leg like a stick of candy. The hyena can digest solid bone, and it doesn't stop there. This hungry fellow swallows a hoof. Only the skull and horns are spared. If the cheetah is the sports car of the Serengeti, then the hyena is the garbage truck. If left to eat undisturbed, cheetahs gorge themselves, almost to the point of immobility. This female, who worked so hard for her kill, can barely move and simply cannot finish her meal. It won't go to waste. Another group of carnivores waits in the wings. Vultures commute to the migration route, picking up what the predators leave behind. They nest high in the gorges of the Rift Valley and cover up to 125 miles round trip. Every morning they leave for the long flight out to the Ndutu area. Surprisingly, Old World vultures like these can't smell. They rely solely on their eyesight to locate carcasses. One by one, they drop onto the remains of a freshly killed zebra. Each species has its niche in the Serengeti machine. But unlike the big cats, different vulture species work together to divvy up a carcass. The curved, protruding necks of the Ruppell's griffon and white-backed vultures easily snake their way under the skin of the carcass to feed on the flesh inside. This is their special skill. On a particularly popular corpse, interspecies fights break out to win prime positions. And sometimes, big lappet-faced vultures drop from the sky. They are the thugs of the vulture world, bigger, more demanding, throwing their weight around to dominate the other species. These birds have strong, muscular necks and huge, sharp beaks for pulling sinew and severing ligaments. They're built for efficiency, not looks. And they help all the vultures by breaking the carcass into smaller bits. No single species of vulture can be efficient on its own. They need the support and expertise of the others. Unlike the cheetah, they cannot work alone. Over 700,000 successful years, cheetahs have honed their skills on the savanna. The mix of open woodland and unobstructed grassland perfectly suits the cheetah's focused hunting style. And though the Huachini mother may be having a hard time hunting these days, she clearly was healthy enough to give birth to 3 energetic cubs and raise them for months. But now, aside from her hunting slump, she has another issue to deal with. Female cheetahs have big home ranges here. A female might claim as much as 150 square miles. But these ranges overlap, so contact with other cheetahs is inevitable. A floater arrives on the Huachini Plain, a wandering mother with older cubs, and she's on foreign ground. The Huachini mother spots her, and they stare each other down from a distance. It's a stalemate. The intruder tires of the standoff and lies down in the grass. Astoundingly, the Huachini mother retreats. She's been through a challenging time and shies away from conflict. Cheetahs go to a lot of trouble to avoid each other, and this one's no different. She moves deeper into her own territory. The cubs are confused by the mother's retreat. They have a lot to learn about their species' personal space. Having unwittingly repelled the Huachini mother, the intruder's family relaxes in the shade. Her young, the cheetah equivalent of teenagers, still have a cub-like curiosity. They begin to stalk a new sort of prey. The filming vehicle. The young, either naive or lion-hearted, get busy exploring. The truck becomes a giant cat toy. Despite the humans inside it, the cubs feel no threat. Their mother is not convinced. This cub spots a victim. It's the wind-proof microphone. The thrill of a first kill drives them, and he bags his prey. So much for an inconspicuous film crew. They have to break cover and attempt to retrieve the mic. Natural history filmmakers never want to be part of the story. But the turn of events illustrates the boldness of cheetah cubs, in contrast to their timid mother, who sits this one out.
Cheetah are hungry.
While being timid is no sin, it can work against the cheetah. Their cautious nature puts them on shaky ground, especially against more aggressive savanna dwellers. Not only hyenas, lions, and angry zebra, but some other surprising rivals. An unassuming warthog, generally a menu item, can turn ugly and pose a serious threat to this young cheetah. Faster than it looks and built like a toothed battering ram, this hot-headed hog is one beast the cheetah doesn't want to mess with. The warthog's after undisturbed foraging rights for her family and won't let the cheetah stand in her way. The indignity of having to fend off potential prey doesn't sit well with this young male. The spat continues, but the warthogs stand their ground. They're just too intimidating, eventually chasing the cat deeper into the brush. For the moment, the warthogs are brimming with confidence, but they're about to get their comeuppance. The timid behavior of the cheetahs hunting alone is just one side of their story. In other circumstances, these large cats are mean, lean, and formidable. On the small plain near the warthog's territory, 6 cheetah males have joined forces. Coalitions form when sub-adults band together after their mothers leave. Often they're brothers. Males in coalitions are on average 22 pounds heavier than lone males, thanks to their ability to hunt more effectively. As a group, they can defend territories better and repel lions and hyenas that may try to steal a hard-won kill. For males in these partnerships, the plains are ripe with hunting opportunities. As fate would have it, the happy warthog family forages nearby, oblivious to any threat. "12 eyes lock onto them. The big male spots them, but after their recent victory, the warthogs are downright smug. The hogs have dinner on their minds, but so do the cheetahs. For the 6 cheetahs, 1 warthog makes a mere snack. They finish it quickly. A hopeful jackal approaches, but he's not welcome. One cheetah escorts it away while the others continue feeding. It's hard to believe these aggressive cheetahs are the same species as the Wachini mother. These males have strength in numbers, and the whole group benefits. Back on the short grass plains, the rain clouds have swung northwest, dragging the scent of moisture along with them. For the Wachini mother, time is rapidly running out. The wildebeest are moving away, leaving the Ndutu area, following the sprouting grass. As they move off the plain and back into the nearby woodland, another coalition waits. Strategically positioned, low and inconspicuous, they prepare for the streams of wildebeest to move closer. Some wildebeest smell the predators, and they're edgy. But soon enough, the wind dies, and the cheetah's scent doesn't drift. The stakes are higher here. The prey is bigger. The dominant male begins to run. He locks onto a target and singles it out. They have to stop it from returning to the herd. But in a display of extraordinary bravery, this wildebeest turns to fight. It has more stamina than the cheetahs, and it makes it back to the safety of the herd. The cheetahs make their best attempt, but this time, it doesn't pay off. However, all's not lost. In the chaos, a calf gets separated. The third coalition male sees it and gives chase. The wayward calf has no chance against the coalition as the law of the savanna plays out. They drag the struggling calf into the shade, turning a failed hunt into a meal, enjoying the fruits of their teamwork. As they tear into the carcass, the remaining wildebeest continue north toward greener pastures. It's unlikely that they'll return this year. The wet season here is over. The track spreaders of Ndutu can only follow them so far. The herds will move over 100 miles beyond the territories of the cheetahs. The departing migration will only make things harder for the Wachini mother as the parade of prey passes by. Hunting will get more difficult now. As she competes against stronger predators for a shrinking food source, it's easy to believe she's fallen victim to her own specialization. But the cheetah's speed and stealth have gotten her family this far. The timid, struggling working mother and the aggressive, efficient coalitions are two parts of a whole. The coalitions have the skills to exploit bigger prey. The mother will do everything she can to raise her cubs. Only by looking at them together can we really get a picture of the state of their species. Not just fast on their feet, but built to survive. The mother cheetah will come out of her slump and once again make the most of what the savanna offers. Though all her cubs may not make it, the ones that do may form a coalition of their own, continuing the line of specialized survivors, built for speed, despite the price.